Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Content Breaker. So sorry for missing last week. We both were out of commission and we didn't have any more backup episodes. we, we got sick from our trip. That was awful. How are you doing today, Mr. Static Dreads?
A lot less sick and a lot less awful. So it's a victory for me.
That's great. I am also less sick, although still kind of congested and nasally. I don't know what that's about, but hopefully it clears out eventually. We have quite a exciting episode today. We're going to talk about Transformers because we have just finished watching Transformers 1, which I liked. I thought it was enjoyable. I don't think it was the best thing ever. But that might be. It was enjoyable. It was fun. I did like it. It answered a lot of questions that I personally have had, like about the quintessons and stuff, and kind of the beginning of this new canon that Transformers is doing, as Mr. Stradridge informed me during the pre-show. What'd you think of the movie?
I thought the movie was great. Actually, I saw it twice. I saw it on opening night, and kind of 3D, 4D because they had a special going on where you got a special poster and a keychain. And I like free thing, free. Okay,
you had to like pretty and free
for the
things.
ticket. I was gonna say it was really free. You definitely had to pay your money's worth to get in there. But I enjoyed the way the movie went. Like spoiler free, it's the telling of the Transformers universe, the telling of the Autobots versus the Decepticons, which there's been so many kind of stories of it. Because I remember the story I heard was, the battle was going on long before Optimus Prime and Megatron, but in this telling, it's kind of Megatron and Optimus Prime started the battle, and then you have like the creation of, what was it? Rodimus Prime? Was that the name of the planet? No, it wasn't Rodimus. It was
There's
anyway,
Primus, the planet itself.
Yeah.
Makes
Primus.
Cybertron. Primus is Cybertron, but that's pretty sort of consistent actually up until a couple of years. Apparently, there was a time before when Primus existed, but he was never the planet. Like he didn't transform into the planet. But I guess now this is their new thing that they're doing. Because Unicron also exists, Because like, if Unicron's a planet, then Cybertron should also be a planet. Or Primus should be a planet or transform into it. Which I was like, okay, that's par for the course. Apparently, because I'd watched some deep dive lore video like forever ago that said actually Primus wasn't even the planet. He just made the planet. And that was like, so this whole Primus transforming into the planet itself is like a relatively newer thing. I didn't know that. I was like, oh, I'd always thought it was. Anyways.
Interesting. But yeah, no, I just kind of went with this of being the new reality that this is the way that things happened, and Primus created the 13 Primes to defend him against the Quintessons, and they kind of created the whole Transformers world from there. And there's like some twists and turns in the story, but basically you get to see Megatron and Optimus Prime's relationship before they were Optimus and Megatron. They were Orion Pax in D16, which is weird. How he Megatron went from it's explained though once because I was like, how is he gonna get from D16 to Megatron? But then they explain it with what kind of happens at the end.
Yeah, when they mentioned a name, I was like, oh, yeah, that makes sense now. I get it. I understand what they're doing here. No, it was the beginning lore story I've ever I heard for Transformers was that Orion Pax was some kind of archivist, and then Megatron was just a fighter in the arena, and he gained not nobility, but prestige and all that stuff. That's the only one I've known, but this new one's pretty good too. I'm like, okay, I kind of like that explanation. It is weird that D16 is D16 and he doesn't have a name, unlike Orion Pax, who had a name. Pretty much everybody else has a name.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, he just has a number assigned to him. Or maybe that's what he wanted. I don't know.
I mean, same thing with Bumblebee. He's just a number as well. So.
You know what? You're right. What was he? He was B. He just called himself. Just call me B. But it was like B37, something like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
And then it was a Badassatron, which was just...
Badassatron. That was great.
Yeah. With the hand knives, when he did that at the end, I was like, this is too rich. This is too rich.
He was... I was afraid that he would have been the more annoying character. I kind of think he gets there almost, but not enough. So just barely, enough to where it's funny. But I don't know. I was just like, oh gosh, they're gonna make him more annoying than anything. But actually, he turns out to be a really good part of the movie. So I actually enjoyed B. So that was nice. I enjoyed it though. It was a good time. I would watch it again though. It's good.
Yeah, I'd definitely say it was good. It didn't feel like campy at all. It felt like it was. It did a great job of playing back on your heartstrings of, how do you become an enemy? How does your best friend become your enemy? And it's just, it shows like what hate can do for you, like hate and deceit, and when you like false idols, it's
you get the hate, and then your false idols or the people you look up to turn out not to be so great, and then you gain power, and then you have the way to change things. That was a good core message of the movie, but I feel like if we talk about it anymore, we might spoil it. Go watch the movie if you haven't seen it. Yeah,
it's a great movie. Alita 1 is a great character in it. That's the voice of Scarlett Johansson. She's great. Jordan Michael Key, the voice of I almost said Peanut, but Bumblebee
Peanut
is great. There's some few cameos I don't want to spoil, but we got Lawrence Fishburne's in there as Alpha Zion, which is great. Megatron is voiced by Brian Tyree Henry, and Chris Hemsworth was Optimus Prime, which was just kind of wild. And Steve Buscemi's in there too. I'm not gonna tell you who he is, but because that was a fun surprise for me. I didn't know he would be in there. Hearing him, I was like, oh, okay. Steve Buscemi, let's go. And the iconic Soundwave was in there too, which I was also very surprised by that. But
I was shocked by how many of the Transformers were already kind of there, and I was like, "Oh, cool! I like that."
Yeah, and I was like, "Okay." We also see that, because they even mentioned Jazz, who's not even like relevant yet,
and they mentioned Ratchet.
Yeah, Ratchet.
I don't see him, but they mentioned him.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I was like, okay, that's what's up. I was very hyped about that. There was a lot of ones. I heard Red Alert get mentioned too, and I was like, okay. So we got some favorites up in here, and we saw Jetfire's name a lot. He was in the Jetfire was in the
race.
Yeah, thank you. I forgot what it was, but he was in the lead for a while. So I was like, that's nice. That's a nice cameo.
Little Easter eggs. If you haven't seen it yet, we recommend it. This podcast recommends going to see Transformers 1, especially if you're a fan. There's plenty of stuff there, and there's most definitely going to be a second movie.
Oh,
I'm
for
pretty
sure.
sure.
For sure. It'll be a second movie. For sure.
But reminiscing on Transformers, I would like to know, what was some of your favorite series of the Transformers, like going through, and then we could also segue into favorite Transformers characters.
Yeah, yeah. So my favorite season was definitely Cybertron, the
Mm.
Robots in Disguise franchise from 2005. It was the third of the trilogy, but
They
it
call it the
had brought.
Unicron trilogy. That's the
Yeah,
official name for it. So I was like, oh,
yeah,
I barely remember. Oh no, because at the very end he shows up. That's
yeah,
right.
yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, because that was the thing. Because it was like, okay, first we got to get the mini cons for Unicron. Okay, now we got to get the Energon for Unicron, and now we got to get the keys for Unicron. I was like, it was he was a big deal in that series. I just remembered that. No, I enjoyed that whole trilogy. I thought the mini cons were cool. Um, Energon, I was okay. It was kind of weird because this is like, well, it's just Energon. It's not like keys or anything. But then the Cybertron shows up and you get the keys. So, what was your favorite part about Cybertron, though?
Oof. It brought so much together. There's so much stuff that happened that came together with Cybertron.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, it was a combination of 3 seasons, and I think each season was like 50 something episodes. I don't remember, but I just know there was so much that got into so many different planets. Like you had to see, like there was a speed planet, the jungle planet, Earth, and then a giant planet. And I remember seeing some of my favorite like Transformers get introduced, which I know we'll save them for later. But and just seeing the different planets in the galaxy and whatnot, and seeing like the lore of how many like how vast the Transformers race was. Like we thought it was just a few survivors from a dying planet, and then you find out no, they're like all over the planet, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, met some of my favorite like Transformers on the different planets. Like the Jungle Planet was probably my favorite that they went to. Um, seeing freaking again, we're not talking about characters yet, but we see like one of my favorite Transformers of all time. Of course, it's Decepticon, but it is what
Well,
it is.
yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah. um, but like just that, and then the interactions with the humans, the part that the minicons played in the series. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think the minicons have played a part in any Transformers since this. I feel
Yeah,
like
they
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 haven't.
really haven't. It was just kind of in the Unicron trilogy. I think they showed back up when they like with the keys and stuff. They didn't do too much after their initial series. They did.
Yeah, I think
Which,
it was revealed in this one that the Unicron created the minicons or something. I
I
don't know.
think that was, yeah. I want to say definitely there was, but then the mini cons themselves aren't really like loyal to one side for the most
Yeah,
part. I think they're not really. They are autonomous ish, but it's kind of whoever finds them first, and they're like, "You're my friend now." That's gonna be.
yeah. So
I said I remember watching Energon. I couldn't tell you the first thing that happens in that one though. I couldn't tell you because it was just finding the Energon. It was just rocks. Find the rocks for Unicron. Um, I think my favorite series, right? Because I got introduced to Transformers during Beast Wars, funnily enough, and that's how my Transformers journey started into Robots in Disguise in 2000, which I had a couple of toys from that show growing up. It was I actually had the Megatron, and then I had the Skunk and the Toad. Could never find the Shark. And then, yeah, the Unicron trilogy, watched that. That was good. I was like, yeah, I'm here for this. Cool. Didn't really watch anything like the Transformers animated series. I didn't really like the style they went with at the time. I thought that was more recent, but apparently not. Apparently that was back in 2007. I said, "Oh, I am old." But then
I feel that too. I was like, "This is like
I
a
thought,
2019 product," because like it just looked really bad. I was just like, ugh.
yeah, I didn't really like this style. I think I watched like the first episode or two. I was just like, not really doing it for me. Not really here for that. Well, that was a 2-year break though for that Transformers series. Interesting. But then I discovered, I was just flipping through channels, random channels. I'm in high school. I'm just like, I'm home, whatever. And then I discover Transformers Prime on the television. I love that one. I love Prime. I don't think I've technically finished it. I did the series finale, but apparently there's a movie that follows that's supposed to cap off the whole thing. And I said, oh, I thought we were done. And then there's a sequel series, which I said, oh, I didn't think there was a direct sequel series to Prime. But anyways, Prime was goated. That one's probably my favorite, besides like the nostalgic stuff.
Yeah, Prime was pretty like intense.
I loved it. I said, yo, we're killing people up here. That's crazy.
Yeah, I definitely remember Prime being like an intense one. I don't necessarily remember much of what happened.
Well, it gets pretty intense from the cliff jump. I thought of that joke earlier.
Yeah. I mean, I know you've got the original voice actors. Like, you got Peter Cullen and Frank Welker voicing Optimus and Megatron, which was nice. And then you had, I think, was it Steve Bloom, Starscream, I believe?
I don't know. I remember he didn't really have a high-pitched voice.
Yes, he was. Steve Bloom was Starscream.
Okay. He could hit the high notes though and start scream.
Steve Bloom was talented.
You go,
yeah.
But I think that one has a lot of my favorite Transformers in it, which is probably why I like it more. But also it just has one of the cooler iterations of one of my favorites. And then just the overall story kind of worked as well, and I thought it was pretty cool. The only thing I was kind of like, was that, oh yeah, Earth is Unicron, and I said, I don't know if I like that. I get it, I guess. You can do that technically, but I just thought Unicron was like his own thing.
Yeah, me too.
Because in this, I'm like, you're saying Unicron is smaller than Cybertron, because Cybertron's pretty huge.
Yeah.
And Unicron's supposed to be even bigger than that. But now you're like, oh, Unicron's the Earth. And Earth is like this compared to like Cybertron, which is huge.
Yeah, no, Cybertron's absolutely massive. Like, it's, oh my gosh. It's, like, there was never really a good scale compared to how big everything was. Except for, like, Cybertron, I feel like, when you got to see, when they had, like, the few space battles, and you got to see how big it was. Like, compared to, like, everything else.
The like, only other thing, and I don't even count it that much, was in the Michael Bay movie, when they started teleporting Cybertron in. I was like, I always forget how big Cybertron's supposed to be compared to Earth.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, it's the Michael Bay movie, though. It's, it's whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, he's an expert at the distortion of sizes. But at the same time, like, it works. I'm surprised Transformers 1 was also produced by Michael Bay. I was like, huh?
Yeah, I was like, oh, I didn't know he was working on this. Okay. Well, there you go.
And it also kind of got stayed by Steven Spielberg, too, I feel like. But that's not business.
Yeah, I just really liked Prime, and I liked all the characters and how they interacted, and then the dark turns that the story takes at points.
Yeah, like definitely Cybertron, like I said, or Prime was definitely very dark. Didn't I forget her name? But didn't Homegirl betray the Autobots?
RC, no,
Okay,
no, that never
gotcha,
happened.
gotcha. Okay, I have to rewatch that one. I don't know where. Probably Tubby, because everything's on Tubby.
Tubi, yeah, probably. I don't know because it was a hub exclusive thing. I'm I'm sure if I typed it in, I could. Hold on, let me see. Watch.
It's okay. I'll find it one day on the internet.
Yeah, it's on Tubi. It's on Netflix. Probably not, but the Transformers official channel has like the full. Maybe it has the full thing. It has episode 1 through 5 on in one video. I found out a lot of the official channels for things like Power Rangers upload the entire series there, and I didn't know that. And
That's weird. Like,
I'm like, that's crazy.
I wonder, is there a reason for that, or?
I don't know. I wouldn't complain about it though. But yeah, like if you want to go back and watch Power Rangers, it's all on YouTube, all on the official channel. And I was like, oh. I'm like, oh, well, here, look, here's the whole thing of SPD. That's cool. I might do that. And then they also stream live, like, the full series. Like, I think they were playing Jungle Fury a couple weeks ago, like the full series. I said, oh, that's cool.
Yeah. It's always fun to see what's playing, and then because there's so many different Transformers in the universe. And like the fact that Bumblebee didn't really get popular until like
the movie.
Yeah, I mean he's in this one, the one that you talk about, Prime, because that started in 2010. But other than that, he wasn't really in anything. Like he wasn't in the animated series.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, no, he was. Yes, he was.
He was in Transformers Animated, but before that, he was definitely not present. I feel like he replaced like Hot Rod. Because I think Hot Rod showed up a lot until Bumblebee came on the scene. That's the thing I noticed. I don't know if that's true or if anybody else noticed that. But that was like, where's Hot Rod? Where's my guy Hot Rod at? He's not in this series anymore. This is a Bumblebee guy.
Yeah. Well, interesting. I think about it like that.
Do you want to talk about some of our favorite characters throughout the whole series?
For sure.
I'm excited. I was actually surprised to see one of them in the movie. I was like, I didn't think she would show up, but cool.
Who was it?
Arachne.
Yeah,
I said, shocked. Oh, okay. There she is. Say it again. What'd you say?
I was definitely trying to figure out where I knew her from. But I couldn't figure out for the life of me. And then when you said Arachne, and then just now it made sense. Because I was like, didn't she transform into a spider? So I was waiting for her to transform into a spider, which is that, like, weird machine thing. So I was like, okay, maybe I'm bugging.
She was like a spy helicopter, but I think her spider's like an alt mode kind of thing.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because, all the Transformers have like a vehicle transformation. But then they can discover an alt mode and they could turn into that. That's supposedly a thing. But now Arachne showed up in the movie and I was like, cool. And then she got her butt kicked and I thought it was funny. I thought it was hilarious. It's like beating. Anyways, but no, I liked her in Prime. I was like, oh, that's cool. Like a little spider lady transformer. That's kind of cool. What's one of yours though?
Oh, by far, Snarl from Transformer Cybertron, from the Jungle Planet. He is okay. So he's a wolf transformer. So they get to the jungle. Like, okay, so like you said, they have to go through all these planets and everything and transfer over Cybertron to find the keys to help Megatron and save the planet and everything. And the humans end up helping him. It's like a whole joint process and everything. But we come across this when we get to the jungle planet. We come across this transformer riding a motorcycle. And I'm like, what? Why does he have a motorcycle? It's a transformer. What, like, whatever. Wasn't questioning it. And then he's like, expedition, I can show you the way. And I'm like, okay. And then, like, he shows us, and, like, it's just like, okay, he's nothing special, like, fighting wise, but then he, like, gets engaged with the enemy, and then he has to turn into a wolf. And then he starts, like, biting people and doing all this cool wolf stuff. And he's blue. And I'm just like, I don't know. Maybe nostalgia just hits. But I was like, he's so cool.
Nah, that's dope. Like, not many Transformers turn into animals, much less like a cool one, like a wolf, you know.
Yeah, and my other one, who I'm kind of like super tied with, is definitely okay, that's not his. You listening? Okay, there we go. Which is Scourge? You remember Scourge?
Scourge.
Yeah.
I'm sure I can remember if I.
He is a 3-headed dragon.
Oh,
Purple. Yeah.
wait! You're talking about Mega? Wait a minute.
Yes, I think Megatron like took over his power, if I remember correctly. But I'm pretty sure. I'm positive Scourge has all 3 heads.
I mean, he's definitely. Oh, apparently he was in a movie. Cool. He's definitely a Transformer. Kind of recognize him a little bit.
Hmm.
He said it turns into a 3-headed dragon. That part I don't remember. The only one I remember turning into a dragon and only had 2 heads was Megatron from the 2000 series, which apparently those are not Decepticons. Like I was telling you before the show, and I said, what?
They have the emblem.
Yeah, but they're like, they call themselves Predacons.
Because they eat other Transformers?
No, I guess because they turn into animals, I guess. It was weird. I was like, oh, I guess technically they would be Predacons because they didn't have any vehicle transformations except for Megatron, which I don't even remember that one specifically. Well, because I had the toy, and the Megatron toy was super complicated. It could turn into like a bat, a dragon, a car, and a plane. It was so complicated. It was very cool. But I only remember that because that was when I have to look up his name because I always keep forgetting it. Where is he at? Tell me. Sideburn? You remember Sideburn? He started off blue with the flames on his car, and then he turned into a red car. That was
I vaguely remember Sideburn.
He probably from that series. He was one of my favorite Transformers. But anyways, I only remember the episode because he was trying to pick up this car, this pink car, and he thought it was hot. And I was like, what is happening? When I was a kid. I was like, what's going on? But it turned out the pink car was Megatron in disguise. He's like, hey, good looking and beautiful. Where you going? You want to take a drive? And I'm like, dude, that could just be a normal car driven by a human. You don't know if it's a Transformer. Why are you trying to hit on non-Transformer cars? They can't consent to whatever it is you're trying to do. I was very confused. Anyways, yeah, it was Megatron. He's like, uh-oh. But
yeah, no. I'm pretty sure if you go back and look, you'll know. You'll be like, oh, that was Galvatron. I should have known.
Yeah, I'm sure if I go back and rewatch this series, I'll be like, oh yeah, I remember everything now. But another one of my favorite ones from that series in particular was Skybite. He was a shark. He was cool. He screwed everything up. It was great. I laughed at him a lot. Probably my favorite one from the series.
Yeah.
From that one in particular.
Yeah, and I want to go either Snarl or Silver. Ones who are in combat and then put their side of pride. Silver put the pride aside for his daughter. And I like to say Wolverine, oh my gosh.
Wolverine.
What's his name? I'm not gonna say backstop. I was going backspot or backshot. Backstop is like the other one on the Jungle Planet who was kind of cool. He was all right, but like, I don't know. I really like Jug. Kind of. I don't know. It's like.
Is it hard to pinpoint your favorite ones? Or
yeah, because I'm like, I loved Crosswire and Evac on Earth, but also like Hotshot and Red Alert were so cool.
Hotshot,
like,
yeah.
Like probably even the Red Alert. Like Red Alert did so much. Like, and I thought he was like higher ranked than he was, which, I mean, I guess defense team is what it is, so there is no higher or lower force.
I never really paid attention to what their ranks were. I mean, because I'm like, they're all on the same team, but I guess technically they are, because there's like someone right under Optimus, and I always forget his name. It's like some super manly name.
Under Optimus?
Yeah.
Yeah, under Optimus you got Vector
Ultra
Prime.
Magnus. Ultra Magnus is like second in command, basically, I guess.
Well, it's technically Vector Prime, but yeah.
You know, I don't know. Like, it was just like, well, that was somebody. I can't remember who it was.
Yeah.
Some classic ones that I like. I always like myself some Shockwave and Soundwave, the wave ones. It's like B. It's like, oh, there's a lot of y'all with wave in your name. Anybody else go? But when they showed up in the movie, I was like, hey, it's my boys. I always love Soundwave, especially in
Soundwave is great, like especially in the movie.
Yeah, in the movie he was good. Not in the Michael Bay one. They did my boy dirty in that one, because he was just a satellite. Oh yeah, stupid. Then, in Prime though, Prime Soundwave, so good. So good.
Yes, like, it's
they had to banish him to another dimension to stop him.
like, yeah, and then the whole thing with like Starscream, like being a double agent and whatnot, was crazy. You remember that?
Yeah, I can't remember if he was forced into it though, because I think he was. He lost his cog at some point. There was a whole side story with Starscream in there. I like Starscream. I wouldn't call him one of my favorites, but I always enjoy his character in Anita series. Even in the like original series where he like got shot.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no. Dude.
Starscream's definitely been through a lot as a character. Like in every verse. I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah. You got any more? I got like one more.
In terms of like, I don't know. Like there was just so many like, there's so many Transformers. There's Decepticons, there's humans.
I never really paid too much attention to the human characters.
Listen, the human characters, I just remember they went off in the mini-cons one episode, and they never did again, so I was like, okay, I don't have to remember your name, thankfully.
Yeah, they're there, they're not bad. I see them as like oh wow, I'm experiencing things, and that's pretty much where it ends. Not that I dislike them, I don't really pay that much attention to them.
Yeah. I feel you. There are a lot of cool Decepticons. Like, I think I was a Decepticon person. For like I was telling you, I didn't tell you yesterday, but I think I told the other homies that like this movie Transformers One had kind of took me back to the Autobot side because I was definitely a Decepticon prior. So like, what is it? Is it I forget her name. She was a Decepticon. She turned into a boat, I think.
A boat. I don't remember that one.
I'm not keen on if I remember that correctly either. But
yeah,
I just know that she was a boat. And Brimstone was cool AF though.
Brimstone sounds cool.
Yeah, he was the like pterodactyl transformer. Like he was purple and white. I loved his design. Why can't I remember who Homegirl is?
I'm sure if you type in boat, not a lot of Transformers have boat because boats didn't really get around all that well if you're not in the water. I was going to say I actually just remembered another one from Cybertron that he's cool. It's the cool guy. You ready for this?
Okay.
Sideways.
Sideways was dope.
Sideways, bro. When he came in all of a sudden, and then he was like, "Oh, I'm a Decepticon." Haha. Oh, just kidding. I'm actually Autobot now. It's like, what? Who could do that? You could just switch? This guy could just switch? That's pretty cool. He played both sides, although he was working for Unicron specifically.
Yeah.
But his transformation was dope, even though he always got his butt kicked. But he was still cool. I had his toy, and you could like put the key in his little shield, and the little blades would come out the side. I was like, oh, that's so cool. And you could like spin the shield. That's what he do.
Traitor.
Thunderbolt, you said?
Yeah, that was the female Decepticon who could turn into a boat.
Oh. What series is she from?
She's from Cybertron.
Oh, okay. I mean, it makes sense, I guess. On track. Cybertron had a lot of good stuff in it.
It did. Like,
I kind of want to go rewatch that whole era, the Unicron era, just to relive it. And then
we could relive it on the podcast.
Yeah. I got one more off the top of my head that I remember. And that is, of course, he's from Prime. You probably kind of showed up a lot later. Smokescreen.
Smokescreen.
He was the race car, the white race car. He kind of just shows up, or he was like, he was a character that had a lot of character development, and I really liked him. He was pretty cool. He was like one of the last trained elite Transformers that just kind of showed up. And he woke up like, what year is it? Where am I? What's going on? And he's like, oh, he's from like the School of Hard Knocks. He's super trained. He's like, great. And then Optimus is like, I'm considering you for like my replacement. And I'm like, yo, my boy, he's grown so much. He's gonna be the new Prime. I can't remember if he actually does or not, or if something else happens with him. I'd like
Smokescreen. I remember him. He's dope.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I liked his character and his development and everything, and all the stuff he kind of goes through. He was cool. I liked him. There was another one in Prime. I have to look. Oh yeah, Wheeljack. Wheeljack.
Wheeljack.
Cool. Yeah, he was funny. I liked Wheeljack.
Yeah.
But that's really all the ones I can think of at the moment. I'm sure if I went back and rewatched, I'd probably be like, yo, I like this character now again.
Oh yeah, no,
That was
there's
cool.
so many. Excuse me, there was no shortage of cool Transformers. Excuse me.
But yeah, you got anything else to add to Transformers? I think we're about out of time.
No, I think that's about all I got.
Mm.
Shout out to some of the human cast. I feel like Prime had the worst human cast members.
Really?
Next to what was the old one with Bulkhead?
Bulkhead was considered older. No, I mean, Ratchet, I think, was considered the oldest out of all those.
No, I mean, what was
Autobots.
the series with Bulkhead? The one where it had the weird animation?
Just hold on. I think it's just called Transformers Animated.
Okay. That one had the worst humans.
Oh, definitely. I remember actually being really annoyed with the little redheaded chick. I don't remember her name, but I'm like, I don't like her. I don't like her at all. This is annoying.
She was the worst. I mean, those Transformers animated. That had the worst humans. And I want to say Transformers. Didn't watch Earthspark. The OG series was good. Didn't have any humans in it really. Oh no, the Armada trilogy still stands out as the best. They had the best humans. Like, I don't remember what the heck the humans did, but I remember they were useful.
I remember in the Transformers movie, the one that introduces Unicron, there were people on Cybertron, but they had like a robot suit that they could transform. It was weird.
Yeah.
I didn't quite understand why they were there in the first place, but I said, okay, sure. How humans are surviving on Cybertron is beyond me, but y'all go ahead. Just go ahead. Do what you want.
I still don't know how that would happen, and I refuse to even give thought to how that happened. I'm just like, oh, it is what it is.
To withstand probably Cybertron's gravity alone would it's a tremendous feat. I don't think any human, because Cybertron's what, bigger than Jupiter or just as big?
Yeah, it's huge.
It's massive. I don't think you understand. Transformers themselves are from a planet, like they are normal people sized on their planet. So it's like you gotta blow it up really big.
It does not correlate making sense, but hey, I was young and I was like, screw it. It's on TV. Saturday morning, go boom.
We go Transformers roll out and that's it. I do now. I kind of want to rewatch at least the Unicron series, maybe the 2000 series because I barely remember. And I want Beast Wars to live on in my brain as it was. I don't really want to go back. I don't really want to go back to Beast Wars.
I wouldn't go back to Beast Wars. That was trash. That was agreeably probably the worst one. The CGI was horrible.
And yet that was my introduction, but I thought it was still cool. I don't know how I watched it after that.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. Slogan. It was like transform and let's roll up out of here or something like that. I don't know.
Let's roll up out. Let's run up out of here.
It's just like,
Oh goodness. All right, where can we find you, good sir?
You can find me. Try